Howdy ho, been a long time since I've done a video. I'm so sorry about that. Just been a bit too busy. So, yeah, got some brewing done. Tried out the new Firmzilla. Yeah, really impressed. Got some good. It's got its flaws, which everyone's talking about. Yeah, a really good. The idea of it's really good. It's just the seals. It's funny. I'm in the dairy industry, and we have a lot of we use a lot of stainless steel unions, and the seals in there are a lot more clever. That you'll have a square back end to a seal, which I should have put one over. They'll have a square back end to a seal, and the front side of it is rounded. So the square bit sits into wherever it is, into the moulding, and it sits there nice. And then the rounded part, as you screw and compress it down onto the seal, that curved part flattens out and becomes wider and makes a wider seal. I do think with these Firmzillas that they've made the seals a little bit too thin, and I think that's what people are finding. There is not much leeway between being just tight and being over tight, because once you've over tightened the seal, it does nothing. So yeah, it's that real sweet spot, and there's a lot of playing around. People will get to know them eventually, and it'll work. One thing I did change on mine was, actually I might just pause this and I'll grab it. So this is the top part of the Firmzilla, and it did come with that very first seal inside the groove. There we go, that first line there. Now you do get a bag of spare seals, and I chucked another seal on this next ridge up. You can see it there. And what that does is you actually end up then having a seal that sits nicely inside and a seal that sits nicely on top of the Firmzilla. And to the point where you can unscrew the top cap, and you've got to work all this to get it off. It actually just places it really nice. So anyone who's having trouble with the top sealing up, that's what I do. You just see it there. The guys on the Kegman Facebook group are really good, and there's some really good people coming up with suggestions on that, so that's been really good. But yeah, so I did a pilsner in there under pressure. I think I did it about 15 psi, and it went well. The brew day went well. The yeast went well, took off, and one issue I did have was I was hoping that the 15 psi pressure that I had in there would have been enough to transfer it to the keg. Wasn't quite. Then I had to piss around trying to get CO2 to push the rest of it out, because I was trying to do a closed transfer. So it didn't quite work out how I wanted, but that was the only real hiccup I had, and really it's just something I've got to figure out. So I'll get onto this. This is my Come a Hot Friday Pilsner. A lot of Hot Friday nights I'll be drinking this. Also too, Come Hot Friday is a really good old New Zealand movie starring Billy T. James, who was a really old, God, he probably turned his grave, poor bugger. He died young, but he was a good comedian in New Zealand about 20 years ago. Could really laugh at himself and poke fun at anything. He was really, really good. But so this is a bit of a head nod to him. And yeah, I'm first Pilsner. Really, really happy. I'll brew this again. Smells fantastic. Tastes fantastic. So I'm really, really happy. So we'll go through the grain bill. 4.5 kilos of Pilsners, Gladfield's, 120 grams of sour grapes, is Gladfield's acidulated malt, 100 grams of rolled oats, and 90 grams of Gladfield Supernova, which is like a light crystal. I was just finishing up a bag I had. Probably why it's ended up a little bit darker, but I still love the colour. It works. Use 10 grams of jade at 60 minutes. It's pretty stock standard in New Zealand. It's a really good bittering hop in New Zealand. Now, we put nothing out, no other hops into Whirlpool. Pretty much let the jade do all the heavy lifting. That was only 10 grams, but it's strong enough that it still pumped up the IBUs quite a bit. I put 30 grams of Moutere in at 10 minutes. Sorry, not 10 minutes. I put 30 grams of Moutere in at Whirlpool for 10 minutes. And yeah, that was pretty much all the IBUs for it. So it was 30 IBUs, which is on the lower end of a New Zealand Pilsner. They do get up a little bit higher. I think 50 up to 50 IBUs for New Zealand Pilsner is probably max. But yeah, it's 30 is nice. It's better enough for what I want. 7-day dry hop was pretty massive. 50 grams of Moutere again, and 80 grams of Motueka at 7 days. The yeast was Mango Jack's Bohemian Lager, and it started out at 10.54 and finished at 10.11. So 5.6 ABV. So it's a reasonable Pilsner. But yeah, one of the first brews that I've done, not first, one of the first beers I've actually got through that's still, what's it now, 2 weeks in the keg, still holding its passion fruit smell. Yeah, still get it now. Fresh cut passion fruit, love it. It's what I've been trying to get for a long time. And then the lime, get like a lemon and lime taste to it, which I say it's from the Motueka. And yeah, it's a stunning little Pilsner. Really, really happy. Yeah, I've got a whole keg of it. I've got a party next week, so I'd say most of it's going to go. So I'm actually just setting up now on a work day. It's my lunchtime. To do a brew tonight. So it's going to be a New England IPA, and I've loosely modelled it on one of Timmy's ones. He seems to be the god when it comes to New England IPAs, Mr. Timmy Jenkin. Yeah, it's a lot of equivalent of what I can get in Gladfield's malt in New Zealand. I've used that, some naked oats, roll, and what else? Wheat, bits pieces. So I'll go through that one once I've got that one out of the keg, and I can show you what it is. But yeah, it should be good. And I'm trying a new hop in New Zealand. Supposed to be one of the new big ones coming out. A lot of people are talking about it in secret at the moment. So this is the new trial hop, which is going to be big in New Zealand. Trial 4337. They will come up with a more suitable name at some stage. But yeah, 9% AA acids in it. Looks really good. A lot of people doing write-ups, big flavours. But on people are talking about it not for the boil, it's more Whirlpool and dry hop. So that's where that's going to go. This New England IPA, I don't know. I'm still deciding whether I'm going to use 300 or 400 grams of hops. It's going to be pretty much Citra and this trial hop. Chris Gibbons put a post up the other day saying he's done a beer with it and with Citra and the trial hop, and it was really, really good. So we'll do that as well. But yeah, what else did we do? Kind of was really hanging out for the Femzilla to come out with the 55 litre. That was what I've kind of saved my pennies to do that. Because yeah, I wanted to sort of be able to do double batches. But the event a bit slow coming out in New Zealand. So we'll just see what happens there. Bought myself some more kegs. And yeah, about it really. Working too hard. Got some time off coming up soon, so I'll make the most of it then. So, but yeah, still 9 minutes for me. So anyway, it's me done. Yummy. Try that one. You guys will enjoy it. I just sent some Motueka hops over to England, so yeah, might be a good one for you, Jimmy, to try. But yeah, yummy.